button my shirt up. How about
All
that?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, false air of legitimacy there.
All right. We're looking good here. Let me just hit the record. Hey, everybody, if you're able to see us, hear us, just let us know in the group. We're in the private Facebook group, High Level Community. We're going to be streaming today's workshop live in a private setting, just all of us here in the High Level official community group. Comment below where you're tuning in from, city, state, country, region, whatever you prefer. Just want to make sure we get this to the top so everyone can get a chance to watch it. And I'm going to hit record on here for the replay. If you have not yet signed up for the workshop officially, you might have gotten some emails. There is an official link. We'll add it below here, but in order to get those replays, you have to be like officially signed up for the workshop. If you're watching it here, great, but to be officially to get the replays, that's the most important part. Frank, good morning. How are you, man? How you been? It's been a minute.
Dude, great. Actually, yeah, really good. Got up super early this morning, like a responsible adult. Ate half a banana 3 minutes ago. That was my breakfast. I mean, that's
Was this
really
a
about as good as it gets for me, in terms of having it together. Even have slides already made. Just
can't go
unusually
wrong?
productive.
When the eyes open, little banana, little water, little high level energy. It's the perfect recipe to kick off the week. And Frank, that's exactly why I know what you were asking over the weekend. Hey, how we're doing? How are things going? Do we have people that signed up for this? We've had an overwhelming response, man. I mean, we haven't had you on in I'm gonna say a couple months, if that time flies. So it's great to have you back. And I know you've been at hard work here, just trying to like play with stuff, man. Like doing what you do, a couple A/B testing, a couple seeing if this is a new wave, if this is just something that we're revitalizing in our marketing ecosystem. And you've had a couple of findings, and you said, "Hey, we got to get this out to the high level community." So it looks like we're live and in direct into our group. Frank, do you mind sharing a little bit about this plan of posting, selling, social selling posting, how it originated, and then I'll go ahead and give us the official intro kickoff.
Well, I saw someone else doing it, so it definitely didn't originate with me. I've been seeing those posts, forever, where it's like comment, discount if you want the discount code for our stuff, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool, and I kept seeing more and more of them, and I started like thinking, all right, well, that obviously works, and then I started like feeling, I guess is the best way to describe this, the overall sentiment of the market, in general, and how people were starting to become really resistant to like push based selling, but they enjoyed conversational based selling, especially if it was a real person. Like, not that there's not a place for AI, but if they know that they're talking to a real person, they get their questions answered and stuff. It just made everything so much easier. So I decided to mess around with it using, High Level's automated comment reply feature and see what would happen if I just made written posts, because so many people freak out over video, like, oh, am I going to look stupid? And I always look stupid. So I just quit worrying about that. And offer a lead magnet, and then just like not even try to sell anything. See if I could get people to ask to buy it. And it worked. And I've been at it since November 11th. I got all these crazy stats to share with you. It's really cool. Pretty laid back too, actually. It's a really nice, friendly, pleasant experience for all parties involved.
Absolutely. And that's always been like your swag, right? Just kind of lay back. Let's see how this works. How can it complement what we're naturally doing? So I want to say thank you, man, for joining us. I've, what I got to see as you were putting it together is something that is within the high level feature set, which is nice. So if you're brand new to high level, there is a link below to get set up with a trial. If you're an existing high level customer, thank you for your patience as we kind of go through this intro flow for our new friends that are joining in the group to watch this. But you can go ahead and find this post comment feature within High Level 2. There'll be some resources below on how to get it all set up and how to get in touch with support to help you out with it. But Frank, you've been using this feature for some time before. Maybe it was a cool thing to use. And a lot of our other customers that have transitioned from other softwares were paying a sole fee just for this one feature that we've been able to bring as part of the tech stack. If you're cool with it, I know we have a lot to unpack here. We got about 63 minutes, schedule ahead of us of some great stuff. You good if I go ahead and kick this baby off and we get this party started?
Yeah, because I mean, I've only got 62 minutes. So
I love it,
yeah,
man.
this is really, now I'm freaked out. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, look, y'all, as y'all are commenting below, thanks for participating here. If you have questions as we go along, make sure you hit the Q and your question. Let us know what that question is so I can find it and get it over to Frank. Frank is not watching the comments section. If this is your first a training with us, you already know that he doesn't really, well, if this is your returning training, you know that he doesn't look at the comments. But if this is your first training, please, we're not ignoring you. We're just trying to go with the flow here to get you the information you need. Without further ado, welcome to our social selling workshop with our very own Frank Kern, an endorsed partner of High Level who puts together these great ideas so that way you could take action right away. We're going to be talking about the feature within High Level, which is the post comment feature. We'll get you the resources and guide. There'll be a snapshot available after day 2. So we're going to meet today, and then we're going to meet tomorrow, and then we're going to release the resources at the end of the training tomorrow. We got friends from the East Coast, West Coast, outside of the country. So it's exciting to see we got some new faces. Frank, you should have control. Well, maybe you don't, but
I think
let's
I
just make
do.
sure you got sharing control here.
I'm
Um,
gonna go for it. I think.
yep, if you don't mind, go ahead and take us on this journey. Let's see
Did
what
it
we can do
work?
here to get started. It looks great, man. It's
That's
on like
amazing.
the multi-view. You got to go on that full view.
Kablamo. Okay, let's see.
Yep, the play view.
Oh,
There we go.
dude, would you look at that? Okay, man. Who would have? Yeah, so I can't see the comments, like the whole thing like took over, So we all, I'm not being uncool and ignoring you. I'm just generally uncool, but I literally can't see them. So kind of, help me out. Hang on a minute. I got this thing that says this meeting's being recorded. There we go. Okay. All right, cool. So everyone can see it. We're good.
Yeah, I'm good on my end. I see a bunch of goods on the other. We're good to go.
That's amazing. Okay, so the official name of the presentation: how to get a lot of free leads and sales from simple social media posts, even if you ain't never made a post in your life. And that's real, by the way. This is no exaggeration. It doesn't matter if you've never posted. So much has changed in the world of social media. It's wonderful. And I'll be the first to tell you, I absolutely hate social media. I'm not a social person. I spend the majority of my conscious waking time in complete isolation and silence by design. I like it that way. But even I can do this, and I'm not much to look at either. So if I can pull this off, pretty sure normal people can too. So here's what we's gonna do. All right, on day 1, which is today, I'm going to show you the big picture. Nothing really complicated with this. It's delightfully simple, which is great. I'm going to prove to you that it works. I'll show you some numbers. I'll show you something else. Be like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, this is so ridiculous. But it'll be fun. And I will prove that followers don't matter. I know that's a big sticking point for a lot of folks, understandably, because they used to matter a lot. Thankfully, they don't anymore because social media networks just decided to be cool. How about that? Pretty good deal. And we'll simplify the whole process here, so it'll be fun and cool, and it'll work. And I'll help you figure out what to say, because that can be a thing, when you're posting. Like, I don't know about you, but I always worry, like, is this going to make me look dumb? And then like I almost always inevitably look dumb anyway, so I kind of quit caring. But I can understand if it's there, so we're going to minimize the am I going to look dumb worry, by helping you figure out stuff to say that's actually relevant and helpful to people. And then I'll show you how to get in front of the perfect people for free without spending any money or doing anything weird. It's really cool. And again, even if you've never, like, if you have no followers at all, not even like your family, doesn't matter. You can still do this, which is great. So here's how it works. I'm going to show you a bunch of white squares. Each square is like a little piece of the process. It looks like there's a lot, but like they're little ones. I just wanted to break it up so it'd be simple. Okay. So first of all, we post something cool and offer a lead magnet when they comment. Now, to be clear, we're using this on Facebook and Instagram. I do the same post on Facebook and Instagram. I'm using High Level's automated comment reply feature. All the stuff I'm about to show you, I've already made for you. I've pre-automated it. You can just have it. We're going to install it tomorrow. I'm literally going to help you set it up tomorrow, so don't worry about the techie stuff. It's cool. But we make a post and we're like, hey, man, if you like this, let me know and I'll give you some free stuff. It's kind of how it goes. Then High Level's automated comment reply thingy DMs them when they comment, and it asks for their email. and then we send them the lead magnet. Personally, I send them the free thing, regardless of whether or not they give me their email. Amazingly, something like 83% of the people just give me their email address. They don't really have to, they just do. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining. Okay. Then all this is done by automation. It's already built. Show you how to use it tomorrow, so you don't have to program it or anything. We follow up with them to make sure that they click the lead magnet. You know, hey, you asked for this free thing, just making sure you got it. If they click it, we stop doing that. When they click it, we wait a little bit, and then we say, like, hey, you know, like, so let's say we're making posts about tomato gardening or something, and our lead magnet was a free report on how to grow tomatoes. We would follow up with them and say, like, hey, you know, glad you read the tomato gardening report. I've got this program that helps you grow more tomatoes. If you've got any interest, I'm happy to send you some info. It's that, like, it's literally that mellow, that laid back, that like no pressure. And then because high level stuff is so cool, it can actually know when they reply, and it can tell what they say in their reply, like whether they're saying yes or no or whatever. So we follow up with them a little bit till we get a reply. Nothing obnoxious, just like, hey man, just wondering if you have any interest in this thing. Super mellow. And then it reads their reply, high level does, to see if they're interested. Again, all automated. You don't have to read them. And if they are interested, we send them a link to your stuff. And so your stuff could be a tomato gardening course or a booking, you know, calendar or whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's the same, you know, process no matter what you're selling. It could be airplanes. I mean, it's universally applicable. So we send them a link to check out your stuff. And that's when everybody immediately gives you money and you're rich. Except for that's not really how it works. First of all, they don't always click your stuff immediately. So we'll follow up with them until they do. Not every 10 minutes or anything, but it's like, hey man, making sure you got that info you asked for. See, the cool thing is high level knows whether or not they clicked it. So you're only going to be doing that if they don't click it. So they finally click your stuff. Sometimes it takes a couple extra DMs, you know, no big deal. It's all automated anyway. All right. So if they don't buy the first time they click it, which most people don't, that's normally, here's where the true magic happens. We start following up just to see if they have any questions. The reason people don't buy your stuff typically isn't because they don't believe you. It's not because they don't want it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have asked for the information and clicked on your link. It's usually they just need some reassurance and they have some questions because they're like normal people, you know? So we follow up, we're like, hey man, just check and see if you have any questions about that info I sent over. And we do that a couple times until they reply, because people rudely don't spend all of their waking hours paying attention to us. I don't know why. How dare they? So we do that until yes, no, whatever. If they say no, you know, they're good. But if they have questions, we answer them. And personally, I like to have like a real person that answers them, because they're never like difficult questions. You know, it's like, hey, is this applicable to a lawn care business or whatever? And you're like, sure. That's like kind of the whole thing. That's how it works, and that's all automated until the very end. Personally, I recommend you have a real person answer their questions. I just like it better. So that's the big picture. All right, looks like a lot. It's not really a lot. It's automated. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll build it, but that's it. So here's why this works. Okay. Number one, people will see your content because followers don't matter. And there's like two forks of this road of how we get in front of people. The first one is that just followers don't freaking matter. So this is a screenshot taken from Instagram.com. So I just went to their site and like screenshotted this thing. And I should have highlighted this part, but right in the middle, it says, we have now given all creators an equal chance of breaking through. Every piece of eligible content, that just means content that doesn't violate their, you know, guidelines. Every piece of eligible content is shown to a small audience that they think might like it, whether they follow the account or not, and then check it out. As this audience engages with the content, we'll start showing it to more people. I'm paraphrasing there. So that's like amazing, because it used to not be like that. It used to be like this, like the old way. was you make some content. Okay, great. And then Instagram or Facebook or whoever would show it to your followers. And if you didn't have any, you're kind of screwed. And then maybe it would show it to people that were that follow other people that are similar to you. But if you didn't have that base of people to begin with, you're like kind of, you're stuck there. Here's the new way. You make content. They show it to some of your followers if you have them. That's great. But they also show it to people that don't know you from Adam, but according to their algorithm, consume similar stuff to the type of stuff you're putting out. So this is great. This is like every single post, you're getting a free at bat, so to speak. So they're like, all right, show it to it. And they're not going to show it to a ton of people. They'll show it to a handful. But if people like it and they interact with it, then they'll show it to more people. And that circle starts to widen. And that just started happening recently in the fall, I believe, the spring or fall of last year. And it's really working. It's amazing. So this doesn't mean like you're going to immediately get like a gazillion people seeing your stuff, but it means that the whole followers thing, it's irrelevant now. It doesn't matter. What matters is you make good stuff that helps people. That's the main thing. So to put this into perspective, here's some screenshots of reels that I posted, and you can see that Instagram showed my stuff to 38.7% of the people who saw this one. They weren't following me. I don't know who the hell they were. Random people. Why in the world they were watching me? I don't know why anyone watches my stuff. All right. Here's another one. 39% randos. All right. These are the types of posts I've been making, by the way. No videos, no selfies, no trying to look cool. I don't have a fancy car. That was handwritten, obviously, on a piece of construction paper by my 19-year-old daughter. And she just took pictures of that and made like a carousel post. That was it. And incidentally, this thing used the automated comment reply feature to get leads. And look, we had 165 people reply. It was to promote High Level, of all things. Could you believe it? All righty, here's another example. All right, this is one where I did use a selfie, but I look so terrible, I just put that over my eyes to see if I could look slightly less terrible. I don't think it worked. Nothing fancy, though. All right, 339 people commented. This was, again, me offering a free thing if they left a comment. 339, pretty good. Here's one. Check this thing out. Random screenshot of just words. 14.8% of the people who saw it didn't follow me. This is great. Here's another one. 13.2% of the people who saw it didn't follow me. It's probably hard to see on the screen, but the image is just words. It just says YouTube versus social media. That was it. Wild. All right. But the point is, they'll show it to people now. If the value's there and people consume it, they'll start showing it if you just stay consistent and you don't give up. Check this out. All right. This is from February 13th. Here's the post. Okay. It is a written post. Again, you can make videos if you want to. I deliberately only did written posts because I just got so tired of people being freaked out in my video going, well, what lighting should I use? And they would like procrastinate, understandably, because it's scary, So I was like, dude, I'm just going to write stuff. So that's all I did. So I just took a picture of that guy with my phone and then wrote that and posted it and was like, hey, if you want a free thing, you can read it in the copy. You want a little 5-step framework, shows you how to write stuff, let me know, and my automated doohickey will send it to you. So check this thing out. That was published on the 13th of February. Facebook showed it to 54,000 people, and 40-something% of those were not followers. All right. So whatever that math is, like 20-something thousand people that don't know me, they just showed it to them. It got 1,071 comments. This is, again, one of those like, comment if you want free stuff thing. Crazy, right? So if you write good stuff, they'll show it to people, which is pretty amazing. Here's just more, just to give you kind of examples of simple being good. The reason I'm showing you these is so you can realize that none of these are about me. None of them show me. None of them are videos. None of them have like fancy cars or, look how much money I got or any of that kind of stuff. It is all pure valuable content. That's it. Okay. So this thing, 349 comments right there. That was on February 4th. Pretty sweet. This one, 288 comments. Every one of these, I'm telling people, hey, let me know if you want a free lead magnet and I'll send it to you. Remember our big picture strategy? All right, here's another one from, my vision's terrible, February 7th, 677 comments on this thing. You can see at the end, if you want my free mini book, let me know and I'll send it to you. That's it. I didn't tell them to make a certain keyword in the comment. Just let me know. People understand what to do. You don't have to tell them to do a certain word. All right, here's another one. Okay. 1,000 comments. That's from the 11th of February. Crazy. All right. Just bonkers. Super simple posts. Just written. Nothing fancy. Not about me. Okay. So what we're establishing right now are three things. Number one, social media networks will show stuff to people even if you don't have a lot of followers. Now, you're not going to get a gazillion impressions immediately, but if you keep it up, you'll be okay. That's thing number one. Thing number two, the content does not need to be, nor should it be, about you. None of these things are about me. Absolutely not. No one cares about me. They're all about the viewer. And number three, they're all written and there's nothing fancy. There's words, like graphics with words on them. That's it. Okay. So I know the natural reaction. Yeah, but still, you have followers and stuff. Good. And the good part is implied. All right. So again, they're showing these to strangers. So here are those posts. I think I've got them in the right order from the ones that I showed you. I don't know. 9% of strangers saw one. 11% of the viewers of the other one were strangers. Sometimes they show them to a ton of strangers. Sometimes they don't. I don't know. Who cares? It's free. This one, 10% of the views were strangers. So you might be like, well, that's nothing, but it's not nothing. 10% of 21,000 is 2,000 people that just saw my stuff. They were strangers. I'll take it. The other one before that one, 11% of 14,000, that's 1,400 total strangers. I'll take it. Here's another one, 6% strangers. I'll still take it. Pretty good. All right. And then, of course, this is the one with David Ogilvy. I don't know why that one did so well. You never know. Who cares? Just keep making more stuff. 44% of these people, strangers. That's 26,000 people, I think.
Hey, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Question for you here. You shared a snippet of some updates, right? And, at high level, our customer base, we have all different levels. Some people that subscribe to RSS feeds for terms and services and updates of different competitors and features and websites. And there's this whole route of being notified immediately, right? How did you come across, or how did you notice this shift, this opportunity of taking advantage of the switch up, where people are just starting to start dancing, or maybe starting to, hire video editors, or maybe just starting to speak in front of a camera with some captions under them? Now you're coming in, with your hypothesis, with your strategy, with what you're seeing with your customer base on your own SaaS within High Level. Could you just share, where was that moment of all right, there's an opportunity here?
Oh, dude, it was because I did the video thing. So in the year prior to me starting doing this, I had a video editor, great guy, love him. Spent like 40 something thousand bucks with him, and he would take my stuff and he would make the type of videos you're used to seeing. You're got the talking head and the captions and everything, and we've made like 2 of those a day. And I think I've got a slide on here where I do the comparison between one and the other. Now, maybe that was just me, but what I saw was people are blind to these now because, and there's a whole slide around it. So I'll do a better answer here in a minute, but it was purely observation from it actually happening. So I was doing the same thing everybody else did. And it was just this isn't really doing much. I wonder what will happen if I just write stuff and quit trying to, look like everybody else. And I also noticed, just from personal experience, that the funnel model of get an email, drive them to a sales page, email them 30 billion times still works. It's just getting harder and harder and harder because the audience has changed. But if you have a conversation with them over direct messenger, even when they know like part of it's automated, but when you get to that part where, you know, they ask you to show them your product and they don't buy it, and you say, do you have any questions? And you actually answer them. That was huge. That was like an accidental discovery where I didn't think that would be that big of a deal. But they were like, man, I can't believe you wrote me back. Thank you. You know, so yeah, that one was pure chance. You know what I mean? But it was really just the market. You could tell like people watching this are probably like, yeah, dude, I'm also tired of opting in to see a webinar and then getting 47,000 emails about it. You know, like better buy it now. Like that still works. It's just harder. So I discovered that this might be easier. And so far it has been, and funner. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel weird or icky to do. So yeah, very long answer that could have been much simpler.
Awesome. Dang. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing it. It's just, we'll get some comments and some feedback sometimes of, what is the way to go about it. So I appreciate you sharing your insight, what you're doing with your customer base and what you're teaching to your mastermind members. So I know you got more for us here.
Let's get into it. So like here's a better and more articulate answer of why this is working. The audience has changed. Like humans have changed, and to a degree, and this is like a very grandiose statement, I know. So, who do you think you are, Frank? But in my opinion, humanity has changed, largely due to the isolation that happened during the pandemic, and then the huge amount of negativity that just started to become very popular, and like people started becoming more disconnected, and everyone's mad about something all the time. And then AI came out, which is awesome, except marketers are typically very lazy, which then created the AI backlash. So AI is amazing, we know that, but marketers are lazy, except for me. I'm perfect, but everybody else, I'm the worst. I'm so lazy. But we marketers find a way to ruin everything almost. So what ended up happening was people discovered AI and were like, oh, we can make content with AI, but they just made a whole lot of terrible content with AI. Like you can tell when stuff's written with AI, it's so bad. So now we've got we went from social media being like normal and kind of fun. Then the pandemic hits, everybody hates each other about something. And that lasts for like 2 or 3 years, and you're like, good Lord. And then we have robots writing copy that's basically just like not even saying anything. Well, human beings are like real and they have feelings and they feel isolated and unheard and disconnected. And because of that, when they see something real and like an actual person interacts with them politely, it's like the new, pinnacle of customer service, which is incredible. Like the standards have been set so low. So that's one of the reasons why this works, because so much trust has been eroded and so much goodwill has been eroded. But this just means we have a big opportunity to be cool to people. And as a direct result of being cool to people, they like us and will probably buy our stuff. So that's good. And then there's the influencer blindness thing. All right. So it's normal to do this. I've done this. So like I'm no better than anybody else. I've done the same thing. But everyone copies everybody else. So it's normal. Like if you grow up and you hear country music all the time and you start playing guitar, you're probably going to like kind of sound a little bit country, so it's normal for everyone to kind of model everybody else. Alex has copied so much I forgot the name of the software, but there's a video editing software where the name of the caption feature in the software is literally called Hormozi captions. So that dude's copied so much, it's just too much. After a while, all butts and boobies start to look the same. There's only so many times people can like flex their muscles or, show their body parts and have that work. Like you're so saturated with it now. The audience is so saturated with it that it doesn't get the attention. It doesn't get the pull. And that term, influencer blindness, by the way, is a real term that I learned from the ad agency Ogilvy and Mather, founded by that guy. So it's a real thing. And then, of course, look, another dude with a Lambo. Like, okay, great. Another alpha male. All right, like, get in line. You know what I mean? So all of this stuff is just setting us up to just be like normal and cool and do very well as a result of it, and not even have to really try that hard. because it's not hard to just be a normal person. It's hard to try to be who you're not. And then we've got this whole myth of volume, which I could not possibly disagree with more. So there's this theory that like more content equals more money. It just doesn't unless the content is absolutely excellent. All right. But generally speaking, most content isn't actually absolutely excellent. So the real thing is more value equals more money. And I learned this from Jim Rohn before the internet was ever even invented. Your income is directly proportionate to the amount of value you provide to the marketplace. This is a saying older than I am, and I'm getting up there. Just slightest bit of gray going on here. I know I don't look a day over 95. But anyway, that's the real truth of the matter. So a higher volume of a dude who's copying a dude who's copying that other dude, like a whole lot of that just sucks. Nobody wants that. Fewer good posts are significantly better than a lot of bad posts. So that really needs to sink in, because when we talk about making content, it's easy to become overwhelmed thinking, oh God, dude, now I gotta be all over the place and I gotta make all this stuff and I already have so much to do, and I understand, I do too. But fewer good posts, way better than a lot of crappy posts. And this is very important. If you make a lot of low value content, you are branding yourself as low value. So the trick to this whole thing isn't looking cool. It's not writing about yourself. It's not about your credentials. It's creating something that is of value to the person reading it or watching it if you want to do videos. Videos are fine, by the way. I just want to prove you didn't have to do them. All right. So video myth, marketers make videos. We're all marketers. Since that's what we're seeing, we think we have to make videos too, because we're in this little bubble, but we don't have to make them. The end. So long form written posts work. I just proved that to you because I showed a bunch of them that worked real good if they're valuable. If it's a bunch of AI drivel, then it's not going to do anything. But if it actually helps people, then it's going to work. It's going to generate leads. It's going to build your brand. It's going to generate goodwill, and it'll bring in business. And unproved it's what happened. So when it comes to valuable content, thanks to AI and lazy marketers, real is the new cool. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't use AI. Just don't use it badly. But this is a big one. Authenticity and just being who you are and actually providing value. That's the new cool. Used to be high production value was cool. Like, pictures of you going from the plane to the car to the arena to the whatever, like that was not anymore. Real is the new cool because it's so rare and it's only going to become more valuable over time. This is an example of a profoundly real post that I did on September 18th. I don't know how to do these properly. I think it looks better on the mobile, but this is on Facebook. It was a carousel post. This is just handwritten tips about email marketing that my daughter made for me. And you can see it's like, let me know if you want to try the coolest email tool ever for free. That's high level. I had 432 people comment on that thing. It's freaking handwritten pieces of paper, for God's sake. All right. Here's the same one. Look how many people it reached, which is fantastic. All right. A lot of reach from there. Now, to the question of, but what about the videos and how did you come across this? This is how I came across it. During that same time period, this is from September last year, I'd been having someone make for me videos like this one, where you got the cap cut and all the stuff going on. I've been having that stuff made for a year. So here's an example of one of them. I won't subject you to watching it. It looks about like what we're doing now with editing. Look at the impressions on that. 1,800. So Facebook was like, I'll show this to 1,800 people, but I'll take the thing where your daughter wrote handwritten stuff on, what do you call it, construction paper. We'll show that to 38,000 people. And that just kept on happening. And so I was like, well, this is not only easier, but it's cooler and it works better. Another thing I want to help you, and then we'll get to making the actual content, but this needs to be understood very clearly, or else making the actual content is going to be hard. please forget about the perfect avatar. Like we've been taught forever that we have to build the perfect customer profile. And it's really impossible because we're always just guessing. And the longer we spend obsessing over it is the greater amount between now and when we are posting content that brings in business. So here's the deal. Don't try to come up with the perfect avatar and the perfect offer. A lot of times people don't even know what they want yet. They just like have a problem, they want a solution, but they don't quite know what the solution is. And if you can guide them in the right way, you're good. So try this instead, right? Doesn't matter what you're selling. I know most high-level workshops are about like starting an agency and selling high-level stuff. You can, everything I'm talking about is applicable there, but this is for anybody that sells anything. You could be selling, protein powder. It doesn't matter. This is the same formula. So here's the thing. You're starting out. You're like, all right, Frank, I'll give this a try. What the hell? What do I talk about? Here's what you do. You go, all right, well, what do I like talking about? And then you answer that question, write on a piece of paper, answer it in your mind, however you want to answer. Spray paint it on your neighbor's wall. People love that. All right. And then you ask yourself, are there a bunch of other people that like talking about the same stuff? That's going to be a yes or no question, and if there are a bunch of people that like talking about the same stuff, then the next question is, well, what do they want? Generally speaking, what's the outcome they're trying to achieve? And now, most important thing, how can they get what they want? And the answer to how can they get what they want, that's all you talk about. That is the topic of every piece of content you ever make. You just try to help these people get what they want to the best of your ability. The end. That's it. And I'm going to give you some more pointers, but like, there's no need to overthink this. It's like, okay, I like talking about, collecting baseball cards. A lot of other people, I don't really, but do a lot of other people like talking about that? Yeah. What do they want? Well, they want to know how to find like really rare baseball cards for their collections. Okay. How do they do that? Let's do some research and help them figure out how to do that and maybe sell them some stuff. That's the magic formula. All right. No, none of this perfect avatar business. It's just, it doesn't matter anymore thanks to machine learning and the way social algorithms work. So here's how to do content. There's 3 little categories here, and you can have these slides. So like, I know I'm talking fast, but I'm all hopped up on coffee and 3/4 of a banana, and a little bit of water. Hang on. We got these 3 like pillars kind of. The first one is the theme. The theme is like the general world of stuff that you're talking about. Like, so my theme is marketing and stuff. That's like big, that's a lot of stuff in the world of marketing and stuff, right? But that's like my entire theme of content is based on marketing and stuff. So you got that. You just choose a random theme. It could be health. It could be that broad. Within every theme, now we have topics. Okay. So I'm using marketing and stuff because we all can understand that. Like everybody is familiar with marketing and stuff here. So under the topics category, it's like, all right, well, I like talking about marketing and stuff, but like what specifically could I talk about that's related to marketing and stuff? All right. And so we got, well, there's email. I can talk about that. That's related to marketing and stuff. Okay, cool. And I can talk about branding. That's related to marketing and stuff. All right, that's good. Yep. I can talk about writing copy, sales letters, things like that. That's related to marketing and stuff. Okay. Talk about ads when I ran out of room, but there's a whole bunch of subtopics in there that you could put, and you put as many as you want in there. Whatever you like talking about, you write them down. So now we have our general topics that fall within our overall theme. Okay. So now we have the type of content. I don't mean the format, video versus written versus carousel versus, I don't know, other terms that I don't know what they are. I mean like the actual type. So there's really only 3 types of content. Doesn't matter what the topic is. There's news and reviews. So incidentally, your entire universe could just be news and reviews about stuff that's related to marketing. And you could have news and reviews about email products, email marketing news and reviews and stuff. You could have news and reviews about what you get it. Second type is how to, big lever of how to. I like doing how to content. That's just me though. I don't know. I just like doing it. It's easy. And then there's stories. What's cool is the stories don't have to be about you. The stories could be about some dude who figured out a way to do good stuff with email. Two of the posts that I showed you, actually, three of the posts that I showed you were stories that had nothing to do with me. One was about David Ogilvy. Another was about a blogger who failed as a blogger, but started a newsletter about sustainable living that makes $18,000 a month. And another one was about a dude who makes 18 million a year with an email newsletter about the agricultural industry. All of those are stories, nothing to do with me, but they're all related to the big theme of marketing and stuff. Understand? So there's any of those three categories or all of those three categories, news and reviews, how to, or stories, those are fine. Those are perfect. As long as they somehow help the reader get closer to achieving the thing they want to achieve. So in my case, people want more customers and stuff. So it's always some sort of tie-in to here's how you can use this to get more customers. And then, if you want some free stuff, let me know and the thingy will send it to you. That's the content. It's pretty simple. So, you know how you're supposed to be everywhere, or so they say. I used to think that, by the way. And theoretically, I guess if like you had $1 billion or, were able to never sleep and work 24/7 or didn't have to do anything else, I guess you could post on every imaginable channel known to man. But I think I learned this from Hormozi, actually. It's called the rule of one, which is like just choose one channel and just like don't mess around with anything else until you're real good at that one. So there we go. It's important you post valuable content consistently. You ain't got to be everywhere. Choose one and commit to making stuff on that one. For the purposes of what we're talking about, I suggest very strongly, hang on, that the one is Facebook and Instagram. I know technically they're two, but it's the same company and, they both work on the same high level tool. So we're going to call them one. For the sake of what we're doing, I strongly suggest we use those two, Facebook and Instagram, because we can automate stuff through high level on those platforms. And you can put the same post on Facebook as you do on Instagram. So you ain't got to make two posts. So it's easy. All right. So just mess with those. That's all we're doing. Really basic. Okay. So here's a little trick I learned. The irony of what I'm about to share with you is not lost on me. You can feel free to make fun of me about this. I deserve it. Here it is. Small daily actions done consistently over time create compounding results. I'm laughing because this is a very true statement and it's very powerful, and I messed it up so bad and it still worked and it's funny. Okay, so here's the deal. This really happened. All right, so on November 11th, I was like, okay, I'm going to commit, publicly committed to this, by the way. I'm going to make one social media post every weekday, just one. I'm going to do it without fail, rain or shine. Even if I have to sit outside in the rain and snow on my laptop making a post, I'm going to do one social media post every weekday. God, I was trying to rally my community, here we go. Did terrible. All right. So they were all written posts, by the way. So it's like, I'm not going to make any videos, just written posts. And again, I'm not hating on videos. It's just people get so freaked out about videos. Like, dude, let's not make them. How about that? See what happens, So here's what happened in the first 3 days. All right. We off to a great start. First 3 days, November 11th through 14th. I got this is from Facebook and this is from the Instagrams. All right. If you combine these, 500 leads. Crazy. Just written posts. Here's how to do some stuff. Let me know if you want a free thing. I was like, oh man, this is pretty good. I should totally keep doing this. I should really stick to my plan that I said I'm going to do. Yes, that's what I'll do. Also got 5 sales from that and no funnel. All I was doing was the same thing I told you about. You want a free thing? Comment. I DM them, ask them for their email address. Most people gave it to me. Even if they didn't give it to me, I'd send them a link to the free thing. They click the free thing. I wait a while going, hey, I got this other thing. You interested? If they say yes, I send them a sales letter. If they don't buy, I'm like, you got any questions? That was it. 5 sales, no funnel. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I need to be doing this 24/7. So, naturally one would think that I did, but because I am the worst ever, this is what happened. So my commitment to 1 post per day lasted like 2 weeks. So which, at least it was 2 weeks. So I did real good for 2 weeks. And between November 11th and February 11th, I know it's after February 11th now, but I started running ads. So I wanted to distinguish what happened pre-ads, so this is with no ads. I made a grand total of 46 posts. So that's 90 days. And I only made 46 posts. So I did not do one every day. So much for perfectionism, right? But I still did some. I was like moderately consistent, like kind of every other day, and it still worked really good because 46 posts, same posts were on Facebook and Instagram. And you just go, I'll show you tomorrow how you do it. You just select Facebook and Instagram, you make the post, it fires them up there to both of them. All right, 46 posts. They brought in 5,379 conversations started over DM. This is where people comment. And then, my little DM thing is like, hey, did you want me to send you that free thing? 5,379 people did that. 4,949 of those people gave me their emails. They didn't have to. It's not like I was like, the only way you're getting this is if you give me your email. You'll see tomorrow, because I have literally built this entire system for you. I'm going to show you how to use it tomorrow. We're going to install that sucker and it will be running tomorrow. So almost 5,000 people were like, okay, here you go. My exact words were, cool, what's the best email to send it to? They just gave me their email. I'm like, okay, this is amazing. I'll take this, And then I got 188 new customers. That's just from seeing if they clicked my sales page. And if they did, ask them if they had any questions. The only way they could click my sales page is if they asked me for the sales page. That's what's so wild about this whole thing. So step number 1 of doing this is to commit, sort of. I put sort of in there because I like sort of committed. Like I would have left the sort of part out if I actually really did make a written post every single weekday. But I didn't, Thanksgiving came around and then, the holidays and man. So you know how it goes. So anyway, do the best you can. Like just don't slack off. Like do as best as you can. So man, if you commit to 1 post per weekday on 1 platform and you do a moderately good job of it, like I did, it's like, that was a moderately good job. It's like, okay, it's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, we want to stick to Facebook and Instagram. Just start doing it. Maybe some posts will be terrible. Who cares? And then some of them will take off. This is awesome. It happens, some days are great, but no matter what, just keep going. Because I'm not kidding, like all that stuff starts to add up over time. I'm still getting leads from posts I made in November. It's nuts. I actually looked and I'm still getting leads from posts I made in 2021 because it was selling the stuff that no longer exists. And people are writing our support desk going, how come I can't get this thing? I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? And it's posts from 2021, still working. So here's the big thing, right? I'm assuming a lot of folks are like, dude, we don't have any following. Like, how am I going to get people to see my posts? And that is a legitimate concern. So I don't want to make light of it. Fortunately, there's this really easy thing you can do. And we just use Facebook groups. So I know it's like, because you're very familiar with them, probably, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, but no one really uses Facebook groups anymore. That's like just wrong. I don't know the right way to say that without sounding impolite, but Google it. It's obnoxious how many people are on Facebook. Latest data I could find, I think I found some from 2023, but as of 2022, there were over 10 million Facebook groups. Check this out. More than 1.8 billion people use Facebook groups every month. More than half of those people are in 5 or more groups. People's crazy about Facebook groups. And I believe, I can't remember what year it was, might have been last year or 2022, or rather 2023. But Facebook was the fastest and biggest growing platform on social media, especially among grown-ups. Why do you want to target grown-ups? Because they got money. Okay. So anyway, Facebook groups, real good. I know you might not believe me. Doesn't matter. Try them anyway. And here's what's really good. If you've been in Facebook groups before, it's very likely that you would be like a perfectly normal person and be like, oh yeah, dude, but you can't post any sort of promotion in Facebook groups because they get mad and they'll kick you out. Well, it turns out that they're not all like us. So like we marketers tend to think that the whole world is like us, like I think that's the case with any, group of people or whatever. So if we were all lacrosse players, we would think that everybody else was like us too. A lot of groups aren't like that. It's just the marketing groups. There's plenty of groups where you can post promotional content, especially if it's valuable and you're like really cool and just being like, hey, let me know if you want a free thing. That works great. All right. So here's how to use groups. Sign into your Facebook business account. In order to use the high-level automated comment reply feature, you need to have a Facebook business page. Doesn't matter if you've never made a post on it or not. It's irrelevant. But you need to have a business page or else the automated thingy just doesn't work. So that's that. And go to facebook.com/groups. We're going to do this live here in a minute and just find some ridiculous groups. And then search for groups by topic. All righty. And then this is important. Join the groups you want to post in. Some groups will let you post automatically without joining, but if you're not a member of the group, the automated thing doesn't work. So just join the groups. Usually you got to wait to get approved a couple of days. I think that's a default setting. So it's not like every group is out there judging you as a person. I know it feels that way, at least to me, but like just go and join a bunch of them, like, 10 or something and see, because they won't all accept your content, by the way. And then when they let you join them, make a post. You don't make a different post for each group. You put the same post in each group. They're not going to know. They're not all on the phone talking to each other about your post. They don't all know each other. There's like 10 million Facebook groups out there. All right. So you make a post. And then when you do it the first time, it's pretty normal to wait for the post to get approved. Again, I think that's a default setting in Facebook groups that you have to turn off. So that's fine. Don't let that spook you. Some of them won't get approved. I've had it happen. You know what happens when that happens? Nothing. It just says your post wasn't approved. Nobody shows up at your house with pitchforks and torches and calls you names. Like people don't care about us nearly as much as we think they do, which is great. Hang on. So do it for 10 groups at first. All 10 of them aren't going to work, by the way. This is why we start with 10. None of this takes any more than an hour to do, by the way. All right. So here's the tips for groups. An active group with fewer members is better than an inactive group with a ton of members. And I'll show you how to see this in a minute. But like, don't fall for the bunch of members trick. All right. You want groups where people are constantly posting in there. That means they're like paying attention. Okay. It's not a big deal if your content gets rejected. Nobody cares. Keep trying until you're able to post into 10 groups. It won't, like maybe you will, but typically you're going to have to try. Some groups won't let you do it. You sign up for another one. It doesn't matter. If you're posting in 10 groups, all you got to do is make the same post in each group. It's not going to show up on your main feed or anything. It's not spamming. You're not being awful. There's nothing wrong with it. It's totally cool. Okay. Here's what it looks like, by the way. So I actually recorded myself doing this for students that I teach this stuff to. And I went out, I'll show you how to do it in a minute. I was like, what's the most random thing I could possibly find? And I found that there's all these groups for dog walkers, like professional dog walkers. So I made a post just like the one I tell you about. And that's the graphic right there that you kind of see behind the scenes there for my dog walking post. And it worked, So basically you make your post. Then you click on share. I'll show you how to do this tomorrow. And you click copy link. And then that's the post that triggers the automated stuff. Really simple. Okay. So if you actually do this, all right. So, we're not talking about rocket surgery here. You actually do it and you're posting to 10 groups a day. let's just say like, and only 5 of them actually take your stuff. So you're only doing 5. You're going to end up with more leads than you know what to do with. It's really good. Like if you got 10 groups, 5 leads per post, it's 50 leads a day, you know, because you got 10 groups. 10 leads per post, 100 leads a day. 20 leads per post, 200 leads a day. Like it really does add up. It's crazy. And that many leads from a post is not a lot of leads. It's like nothing, you know? So it's pretty good. Some days will be amazing. Some days it won't. Some posts just will bomb. Who cares? You know, it's like that with everything. We don't always hit home runs. So we got natural, yeah, but okay, what if all this stuff? What the normal thing is, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try this after I get ready and after I get all my ducks in a row. And that's really like saying I'm going to go to the gym after I lose a few pounds so I'll look better in my gym clothes. That's the same logic there. Don't do that to yourself. Just go ahead and give it a shot. It's fun, doesn't cost anything, and it works really, really well. Now, our third step here is in how you actually get the sales. All right. And I call this the new way. So thing one, the definition of a lead has changed. If someone asks you for information from a post, like if you're like, hey, let me know if you want me to send you the free lead magnet about tomato gardening, you know, it doesn't matter if they give you their email address or not. That person is a lead. Like you can engage in conversation with them. Like they're interested clearly. So this is a big thing. You don't have to get their email addresses. This is why I send them the stuff regardless of whether or not they give it to me. I'm happy they do, but either way, they're still getting the lead magnet. Old way used to be email. New way, any form of two-way communication counts as a lead. Like we're good. As long as you can communicate with someone in 2 ways, yay. Still want to get their email, but if you don't, it's still cool. Like you're still doing all right. The old way, excuse me, I don't talk much, so I lose my voice pretty quickly. The old way is we would command people to buy stuff. Go here, get this right now. Everybody loves being told what to do. It worked real good for a while, but people just had enough. So the new way is we converse with them. All right. Like we get them to actually ask us about doing it. The old way is to sell them on stuff. The new way is to guide them towards a decision. And I'll show you like tomorrow, we'll actually implement this and you'll see like very specifically how it works. Old way is one-way communication. They get on your email list, you send them emails, they read it, they click or they don't. Sometimes they would write back. Very few people ever read the email replies. New way, two-way communication. I've made up a little term, asynchronous marketing. It's just a fancy way of saying two-way communication, but it sounds cool. But like they write you back and you answer their questions and it's done over Messenger and people like that. And if you write them as a real person, it's great. And all they really ever have are questions like, is this the right thing for me? What about this? And like, you just answer it, you know, there's never anything like awful. So it's kind of cool. Little 3-step process here. Number 1, connect. All right. So we connect with the content. The content is either news review or how to or a story. And then there's the little call to action at the end. Hey, if you want my free guide about how to try not to lose your voice on Zoom, let me know and I'll send it to you. That's all the connect part is. All right, hang on. Converse is where you send them the stuff. You're like, thanks for checking out my post. Here's the free stuff. Yay. All righty. And then we could go like hog wild crazy if you really want to get into it. You can be like, hey, what kind of gardening do you do? Assuming we're talking about gardening, right? They answer you. Great. Really bad at animation. So let me get my animation right. Hang on. This is conversing. Okay. Have you done it before? I always want to do it, but never had time. This is where we're compelling. You know, it's not as hard as it looks. I have a course that helps you grow tomatoes faster, even if you don't have any time. You want me to send you some info? Sure. That's the compel part. I just forgot to animate the converse part. All right. But that's like how it works. And you know what's funny is I've simplified this to where I don't even ask them about what kind of gardening do you do anymore. I just say, thanks for checking out my stuff. I've got this thing that you might like. Do you want some info? And if they say sure, then I send it to them. And that works just as well. So we kind of simplify the whole thing. The automated stuff that I built for you is simpler than this because simple is good. And the real takeaway from this is two-way communication plus just a little bit of time, like giving them an opportunity to read your lead magnet and then letting them ask you about your information. That is good stuff. So you're like, that's just a graphic of me basically saying the same thing. What happens is when you do that, all of that isolation that was created during the pandemic and then the disconnection that was created when everyone just decided we were going to hate each other, and like the mistrust because there's so much fake AI stuff out there now, that goes away and the prospect feels heard because you ask them if they're interested instead of telling them. And then if they say yes, then you send them the information. And then you ask them if they have any questions and they say yes, and then you answer them. So they feel like they're understood because like you hear their questions and you answer them, and that creates a connection. And that is like the missing link right now with people. Like Google as many articles as you want to about the problem with humans being disconnected from one another, but it's a real thing. This bridges that, and you're selling stuff at the same time. So you're creating a good experience for somebody and you're getting sales, and most of this stuff is automated. It's great. And on a deeper psychological level, this is also working because of two psychological principles. One is reciprocity. So if you think about how this whole journey started, they saw good content from you that they liked. It was helpful. You helped them out. And then you were like, let me know if you want a free thing and I'll send it to you. And you did. All right. So when that happens, reciprocity is created. Reciprocity is a very strong trigger. There's a book, I'm totally blanking on, but Influence by Robert Cialdini. You can read about it there. So that's firing off in their brains. But there's also commitment and consistency. So they saw your content. They asked you for information. You sent it to them. Then you told them you had a thing and asked them if they were interested. They said yes. Then they clicked on it and checked it out. And so now they want to, the human brain wants to act in a way that is consistent with the way that it has been acting. So like that means they're going to psychologically on this deep, weird hypnotic level, not to say you want to do shenanigans or anything, but this is going to make them way more likely to say yes because they've been saying yes the whole time and they want to act in a way that's consistent with their existing behavior. So that's why on a heavy duty psychological level, this works. So the advice is don't rush it. Okay. If you make a post today, you don't immediately get a sale. Like, don't be like, oh, this didn't work. This is terrible. Don't try to make everything perfect. Instead, try this little trick. Okay. I built this for myself. This is a scorecard. I made it on a spreadsheet. All right. And so here's what it is. The target means the goal. So one social post. That's it. So on Monday, if I make a social post, I'll put a check mark or a Y for yes. The target amount of leads is 10. If I get 10 leads on Monday, I'll put a check mark for yes. If I don't get 10, I'll put the amount that I got. All right. Follow up with the leads. That's automated, but after 24 hours, you got to do it manually because you can't automatically do stuff after 24 hours on Facebook and Instagram. They don't let you. So did I follow up with them and continue to ask them if they needed any help? Yes or no. And then I just track how many sales. And so my sales goal, let's just say, was 1. Just copy that. You can have these slides and that's it. Like that's your whole plan. There's no need to do anything crazy. If you do that, you're going to end up doing pretty good. You're going to end up with more leads and more sales. But I like to set the initial targets low so we don't freak out if we don't hit the numbers and think everything's horrible, because the biggest obstacle is right here. It's us overthinking it, overcomplicating it, doubting ourselves because we tried it once and nobody read our stuff or whatever. Or maybe we tried to make a post in the group and they disapproved us or whatever. But in reality, it's just here. All we're doing is writing helpful stuff and saying, hey, if you want a free thing, let me know and you can have it. So, man, that was like almost exactly 63 minutes, dude. Where do you want to go from here, JB?
Let's grab some Q&A, Frank, if you're cool with it. Bunch of
I am
questions
cool.
here. And this is a little different than we normally do, right? You going in depth, keeping on track with, you're still sharing your screen if you don't mind, just unsharing it there. And just kind of walking through everything step by step is the feedback we usually get. Like I learned a lot listening to how Frank approached it, how he shared it. So some of the questions that we're getting here are around personal profile, business profile. I know you clarified already that you can only use the business page. And there's a handful of people that'll probably have questions around how do I set this up like right now. So what I do want to do is share the help guide that if you want to set this up or understand where to start with it, you could go to help.gohighlevel.com. And all I did was typed in comment. And it brought a bunch of articles around the workflow automation and the Facebook comments feature, the Instagram. So this is very helpful. Looks like it was recently updated. And Frank tomorrow will go over more in depth on how he uses it, how he recommends for you to use it. But you have some hands-on information here right now. So
I've actually built y'all the thing, a snapshot that you can import. So like you can have my entire system. It doesn't matter if you sign up under me for high level. If you're already a high level user, you can have it. Just go take a trial. If you're not under any affiliate you want, it doesn't matter. You can have it. And I'm going to show you how to use it tomorrow. So it does everything that we just discussed. So I custom made everything for y'all and we'll just knock it out tomorrow. I got you.
Yep. And we'll release that tomorrow along with the slides. We'll have our resources folder. So you'll have the slides and you'll have the snapshot link. Frank, when it comes to joining groups, whether it's an agency, a marketer helping their client, or someone who's just a direct consumer that wants to start using this, there was questions around the post, the style of posts. If I give you a scenario, maybe you can help me and the audience kind of just bring this all together. If I have a client who is a new jumpy house where they have kids entertainment and they're in a Facebook group in their town and they're looking to maybe share a raffle or they're looking to share something new that's happening, and they jump in with their Facebook business page like you've stated, and they set everything up, what kind of posts would you recommend they would create, or what should they expect? Like, how do we kind of make this work for us if we're brand new with this?
Dude, I'm trying to find the actual post that I made in the dog walking group. And there's so many dang dog walking groups, I can't find it, but it's only because I'm on camera. So as soon as I get off camera, naturally I'll find it, But hang on a minute, and I'll see if I can show you. So can I share my screen again? Because
Yeah, go right ahead.
Find that one, but I figured this would come up. All right. So hang on, get over there.
And while Frank is sharing, if you have any more questions, I'm looking here for some more. Go ahead and share them in the chat.
There it is. Okay. Alrighty. So use like any AI tool that you want. I'm going to use Perplexity because I think it's cool. And oh man, I wish it would let me talk to it. I'm in incognito here, so I want to not be helped by any of my past activity. So let's see. I'm going to try and see if it'll just let me talk to it. Where's my little... I need some ideas for a Facebook post. Oh, dude, come on, dictate. All right, I have to type. Shoot. Okay. So what was the example you gave me? Someone that sells bouncy houses?
Like if they have like let's say they have a bouncy house that they just opened up, or some sort of kids entertainment, They're in their small their Facebook group in their local area. Maybe they're doing a grand opening, maybe they have a special, but they don't want to get kicked out for promoting something. They just want to share something that's going on. And there were some questions here. I'm just going to, while you're doing that, Frank, um, right now this comment feature only works for Facebook, Instagram, and the Facebook Interactive Messenger. So the help.go high level can give you some screenshots and some step-by-step guidance on that. It's not available for LinkedIn, for YouTube. I'm sure sooner than later this stuff will be available, but for right now it's not. And looks like, folks that are using other platforms or other services, by all means, everybody wants like an all-in-one experience because this then feeds into your conversations and you can maybe add tags, so on and so forth. So, by all means, you could cancel every other service you've used as long as it fits your business needs or your customers' needs. But this allows you to kind of keep it all in one ecosystem within the high-level platform. So that hopefully answers that. Looks like, what Frank's putting together is what that lead magnet looks like. And this has come up a couple times where folks are like, hey, look, just don't spam in the groups or, don't be too salesy. We understand that, but maybe someone's brand new. Maybe you don't know what you don't know. But I think the biggest thing with Facebook groups, if you're new to it, you should just be in mind that people in there, if they're in a marketing group, maybe they're looking to learn about marketing. They're not looking to be sold a marketing product. But if you're like in a small town group, let's say you're in your area, well, like if you're in, Orlando, Florida, local businesses, well, promoting your 50% off special isn't going to be ideal every post, but sharing value, adding value, maybe doing some sort of spotlighting if you're working with other businesses or you're part of some sort of program, just not making it salesy. And the art here, what Frank's about to share here, whenever you're ready, is the call to action, the word, and then that automation within high level takes over. It'll feed in because of the comment word that they use that you set up. That's why it's important to set this up, step by step. And then that feeds in.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll go in depth.
I'll walk y'all through it.
Absolutely. But I think that covers the majority of this, Frank. We're ready when you are.
Sweet. Okay, so there's no magic prompt, first of all. The idea of a magic prompt is ridiculous, and it's just going to take you more time to try to figure out the magic prompt. So typically what you want to do is tell whatever tool that you're using your objective and who you're talking to. All right. So in this one, this is what I want: ideas for Facebook content that promotes my business. This is my objective. Here's more context. I'm going to be posting it in a local Facebook group that doesn't like for posts to be overly promotional. My business rents party accessories for kids' parties, for example, bouncy houses. So my post, this is the objective, it needs to educate the reader and then offer them my free report called 10 Things to Ask Your Party Planner Before You Hire Them. All right. And then I'll just say, please give me some ideas. And it doesn't matter what tool you use here. I just discovered, did I just break it? Just broke Perplexity, apparently. The hell happened? I hit delete or something?
I thought you had it, Frank. You hit the submit button.
I know I had the button. What happened? I'm like, maybe it's because I'm in incognito and I did something wrong. Okay, I'll type that again. Let's see.
I don't know if you want to type it in a notepad, just in case.
I'll copy it next time.
Yeah.
Did I copy it? Nope. Shoot.
No.
Okay, let's see.
If you got some questions while Frank's typing this up again for you, this is obviously not recorded, so we got you here live. Jot them down below. We've covered Facebook group. We've covered you have to use a business page. We've covered that you're going to get copies of the slides. Tomorrow's a more practical walkthrough. What other questions do you have? And what Frank's putting together right now, if you're not using AI platforms like this way, reverse engineering the end result is so much more helpful than trying to figure it out. And putting the time towards the creativity end of things is always helpful. So, how many of you are using AI to maybe create some copy for your marketing plans and what you're doing for yourselves or for your customers? Let me know in the comments.
Okay, so now I'm going to copy this. All right. So let's try that one more time. I pressed the blue button, didn't I? There we go. Maybe I didn't press the blue button properly. Cool. Okay. So here's what I told it. All right. I need to come up with ideas for Facebook posts. Purpose of the post is to educate parents who want to have a great party for their kids while also making the parents want more info from me. My business rents bouncy houses to kids' parties. The post can't be overtly promotional. All right, great. So let's just do this one. Okay. So, right, the one about safety first. Best first. The post should offer my free report called 10 Ways to Make Sure Your Party Rules. I mean, obviously, that's not spelled properly, and it is a dumb title, but no one wants to watch an old guy type. Okay, so here we are. Now we've got an educational post, which we could use as is, or we could like edit a little bit, and make it sound cooler or whatever. And instead of, this is the big one, instead of saying for more tips on planning a fun and safe party, download our free report, this is where it becomes significantly less promotional. I recently put together a 10-part checklist on how to make sure your party is safe and fun. Please let me know if you'd like me to send it to you and you can have it for free. I don't tell them to comment with any specific word. People inherently know just to say, send it to me or whatever. So High Level is so awesome that you can just be like, do it for everybody who comments on anything. And it works. And I've got this little trick that I'll give you tomorrow, where if they don't want your stuff, then it won't send it to them. So you don't have to worry about doing it the wrong way. So now I can come over here and I can say, make that simpler and easy, like a 6th grade reading level. And again, like I barely even know Perplexity. I just kind of discovered it the other day. So I'm dorking out on it. And this is the free non-pro version here. Oh man, now it wants me to sign in. But you get it, right? Like it's not rocket surgery. And no matter what AI writes, I always personally edit it just a little bit. You know what I mean? Just to make sure it's cool and formatted right and stuff. But that's all you do. That's the whole thing. Not hard at all.
They always know when to get you with the sign up at the right time.
Yeah, it is free. So like if you hit that, you get a free account. I just wanted to show
I know.
you, okay, from never having imagine you've never even used this thing before. This is what it'll give you. So it's pretty sweet, but it's free.
So now, Frank, we take the content you put together, and let's say I want to go just a little bit extra. I go into Canva, I take bits and pieces, I make an image out of it, and then I post it in the group, and I have all the buttons and all the levers properly set up on my High Level on the back end. And I don't have it where it's just a comment, a word. It's just any positive sentiment response, right? What then could I expect? I mean, is it just conversations come in? I'm like, holy smokes, what do I do next? Like, that's a good problem to have, I'm assuming, versus nothing.
So it's automated. So I built the automated thing. So thing number A, which is a number, is the image. So I don't know why this works, but y'all look at this. These posts that I showed you right here, notice the images.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't no pictures. I've learned that just words, that's it. Those are the images that work really well. So I go in Canva, and for that post, I might say something like, read this before you throw your kid's birthday party. Or here's how to make sure that nobody gets hurt at the birthday party. Like, That's the whole image. I just make that in Canva. Um, the end. Like it's literally that simple. So that's thing number A. Thing number B is all this part right here. Post something cool here. I'll go full screen so we can see it. Post something cool, offer a lead magnet when they comment. High level just does that. This happens. So when they comment, the way I like to do it to keep us from like sending it to people that don't really want it is the first question that they get is like, hey, will you just like hit the yes button and let me know that it's cool to send you this thing? You don't have to do that, but I like to do it. Most people say yes because they want it, but still, you know, in case you're worried about it. So once they do that, now, okay, cool. Here's the report. That's instant. All right. High level tracks whether or not they click it. So you ain't got to do anything. When they do click it, it waits a while. I've got it programmed, I think, to wait an hour. And then it'll send the open-ended question like, hey, I got this thing. You know, in this case, we might say something like, when are you thinking about booking your party or whatever? And then for the rest of it, I wouldn't even have the rest of this stuff. Just whenever they reply, I'd have someone call them, you know, or reach out to them and be like, let's talk, let me help you plan it, because we're doing a service-based business. But if we're selling stuff from a sales letter, then all of these other parts, you don't do much. It's already built for you in high level. So there's no need to worry about the bells and whistles. And the one that I did for dog training, like I'm not dog training, the dog walkers, I don't really have anything for dog walkers. So I kind of felt bad about doing it, but I just wanted to illustrate it. I ended up 12 leads on the first day from one post for a guide to how to use social media to get more dog walking clients. And the whole post was just about, should I use WAG or Rover? And I got the post idea by doing what I just showed you.
Yeah. I appreciate you giving us the example, Frank, and just kind of what we're doing here is just showing another way to either show value or get a free source of leads based on your expertise in local groups. Frank, I know we got a lot tomorrow that you're going to go more hands-on. Do you mind
Yeah,
sharing with our
tomorrow should
audience?
be pretty easy. We'll write a couple posts, you know, just for fun. Like I'll actually log into Perplexity, or you know, again, you don't have to use Perplexity. You can use whatever you want. I forgot how to turn off my screen share. There we go. Did I do that right?
I got
That's
you.
all, I think.
Yep, got you covered.
Anyway, so we'll write some more posts and stuff, and then man, we'll build this thing out. So you'll see, you'll be like, oh my god, dude, this is ridiculous. This is not hard at all. And the coolest part about these leads is they're so much different than driving someone to a web page and making them give you their email address. Because 100% it's they're coming to you. They see something valuable, they like it, they ask for information. You ask them for their email address, they give it to you like voluntarily. You don't make them. And then you send them the lead magnet and they like it. And then you're like, hey, you're interested in this other thing? Like, obviously they are. Otherwise, they wouldn't have requested the lead magnet. So they ask you for your offer and you send it to them. So the conversion rate on a sales page goes way up when it's coming in that context. Last time I measured it was 586%, by the way. Same offer. Like when we just sent it to the email list going, hey, buy this thing, converted at like 1 point something. And then when we sent it with this process, the same page, same offer, converted 586% better. Insane, you know, because of the psychology behind it. So you can use this to sell anything. Does it? Like party rentals, you know, courses, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. Well, Frank, we're just at time, right? And it was the perfect amount of time, perfect amount of slides, knowledge, action items. To all of you that have had a chance to participate and watch us here, what was your biggest takeaway? What Frank went over, what he taught, what he shared, what was that? I got to give that a shot, or I'm going to do a little bit more research on this so I can implement it. Let us know in the comments below. We're going to have the replays ready for you in the next couple of hours. If you've already registered for the official training on our website, you'll get an email notification. If not, we'll get that link shared here in our event invite. So within the Facebook group, there's an event invite. Go ahead and log in and like that event invite. So as updates come in, you can be notified without us posting it in our group and I mean, we get new posts by the minute. So we don't want you to have to search around for this. Look, y'all, appreciate you hanging out with us. Frank, thank you, man. It's great to have you back. I know we got a
Nice
lot
to
more
be
things
here.
planned out here, man.
Yeah, it's fun to show how to use High Level. Yeah, it's such a great tool. I'm such a dork with it. So if y'all use this feature, I'm telling you, you're gonna like it a lot. It works ridiculously well. I'm amazed. So we'll use it tomorrow. I already built it for you. There's no excuse not to, you know. So we'll set it up together tomorrow and have ourselves a good time.
Yep.
So I'll see you
Frank,
same time, same bat channel, as they say.
yes, sir. And you got some friends that have returned that they're tagging you. When you get a chance, go ahead and check out those comments. It'd be too many to shout out here, but you definitely got some customers and returning friends that are saying what up. So look, y'all, we're
Awesome.
at time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be finishing up with day 2 of our workshop. We'll see you then.
All right, homies. Bye, y'all.